The NCAA is doing absolutely nothing to stop the onslaught of family management with college athletes. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. This is a new segment we're going to do. It's called Cotton Time. Just hanging out with me, Cotton. We're going to talk about some things. Normally on the show, all of what we do, what we say ends up revolving around Alabama athletics. But we're going to use these individual segments to talk a little more widely about college sports, where they're at, what's going on. I know a lot of people have very, very strong opinions when it comes to things like NIL and transfer portal. And so we're going to talk about that. The latest, I want to say, issue or drama with the transfer portal and NIL, which I don't fully support. I do think that college athletes should be making some money. I do think that they should be able to use their name, image, and likeness. I fall into the camp of Nick Saban that what college sports is doing right now, or what the NCAA is not doing right now, is not really what NIL was designed for. But the latest drama, another drop in the controversy bucket, if you will, has been former Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava. I'm probably butchering his last name. I don't know why. It's much harder for me to say his last name than it was Tua Tagovailoa, maybe because at heart I'm an Alabama fan. Now, what transpired and what was reported was basically this. If you're not caught up, let's catch you up. So let me know once you got your milk and cookies and you're seated, and we'll catch you up really quick. I'll give you a second to buckle in. All good? Fantastic. Here we go. So what has gone on basically is that Nico and his family held out from spring ball in an attempt to coerce the University of Tennessee. I use that word coercely, coerce on purpose, because that's exactly what they did. Nico came off of a 24 season that was mediocre, and that's not a knock at him. That is constructive criticism from a fan point of view watching quarterbacks play. Nico was not in the top 5, maybe top 7, top 8 quarterbacks the season last year. He beat Alabama, and that is where a lot of this is coming from. But in saying that, so they held out. The ask seemed to be somewhere around the $4 million a year range, which is astronomical for a college quarterback to make that kind of money. There are probably some college athletes who are making that kind of money, but those guys are top 1% at their position. Nico was nowhere near that. So what's happened is, On3 and Nico's father got into a kind of a social media pissing match about the story. Nico's father alleged that it wasn't true, and that's not really what was going on. Then Nico doesn't show up for spring ball practice. Turns out the whole thing was true. Josh Heupel tells reporters, hey, he's no longer with the team. He's not with us anymore. And it looks like Nico's going to end up at UCLA over on the West Coast. The number being reported there is like $1.4 million a year, which is nowhere near what he was asking for. So what happened? What went wrong here for Nico? If he felt like his evaluated worth was $4 million, why did he settle? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened was this plague, this detestable plague, of family managers. It has become a huge problem, not just in sports, in the entertainment industry, and it screwed Nico over. I don't want to say it screwed him over, because he's probably getting paid a little more than he's worth at UCLA. But if he really felt like $4 million was what he should be paid, he made a huge mistake. In my opinion, he made a huge mistake leaving Tennessee. We talked about this on our Thursday show with Herb and Raj. He had the opportunity to stay at Tennessee, get better at his craft. Tennessee is a much, they just made a playoff. They're a much more focal brand than UCLA. Everybody watches SEC football. You know, he had an opportunity to really build his worth up to that $4 million mark, but he didn't do it. So he left. But the problem is I have a hard time believing that this was Nico's idea because his dad seems to act as his manager. Family and business rarely mix well. This is not new to anyone. And really what got me thinking about this is, or binge watching some TV, and there's a show that I saw called Bad Influence. I believe it's on Netflix. And it is basically following this group of kids, one of which is a daughter, who are really popular on social media, on YouTube, and their mother acted as the momager, the manager. And of course, things go sideways. There's all sorts of allegations made about abuse and things like that. And the working environment is just toxic, you know, and we see this play out over and over and over again in the entertainment industry. It happened with Britney Spears a long time ago. The Kardashians are a great example. I mean, yes, they have a ton of money, but how screwed up have their lives been because of their momager, right? Just my opinion. But that is happening in college sports. We're seeing a lot of these athletes, high-level athletes, who are worth millions of dollars, using their parents or family members to represent them. And it's poor counsel. I mean, a lot of it is just really bad counsel. I love my uncles. I have two uncles. I love them both dearly. But if I'm doing something where millions of dollars are at stake, I don't know that I go to either of them and go, hey, can you represent me? I feel like I go through somebody who is used to doing that. I mean, that's their job. That's what they do. You know what I mean? When you look at these college coaches, right, they're not using their family members as representation. Jimmy Sexton wasn't Nick Saban's dad or his uncle, right? You use somebody who knows the industry, who knows how to handle these kind of negotiations, because if you go and ask for more than you're worth and make a fool out of yourself, like Nico's dad did, it hurts your kid. It hurts their chances of playing. He can't come back to Tennessee now. Even if Tennessee was to go, hey, yeah, here's a $4 million, he can't come back. Their fans have turned on him. And to be honest, I can't blame them. It's frustrating. It is a frustrating place to be in college football. I can't be, I mean, Alabama fans have done the same things to guys like Caleb Downs or Isaiah Bond. And so you're just hurting your kid because you don't know what you're doing. You've watched too much TV, or you've seen other people on social media going, hey, I'm representing so-and-so. And it's just their dad. They don't know how to actually analyze the worth of that athlete. They don't know how to leverage a deal. They don't know how to broker a deal, right? And it falls through. And so now Nico is going out to the West Coast, which maybe that's where he wanted to be anyway. Maybe he wanted an excuse to go out to the West Coast. It's hard for me to digest that because the exposure that he gets playing in the SEC, I mean, Nico became a household name because he beat Alabama last season, right? Just like Diego Pavia. That's another one. Diego Pavia beat Alabama, beat Auburn. What did he do? Started a podcast. He used NIL like it's intended. He didn't go demanding more money. He probably made more money, but he stuck with his school. I have a feeling that his dad nor uncle represent him. They may, I don't know, but it is a serious issue. And the other side of this coin is that the NCAA is allowing it to happen. They're allowing these kids to fall victim to their families who are trying to legally represent and broker these deals, and they have no idea what they're doing. You're talking about multi-million-dollar institutions that you're going up against saying, give me X amount of dollars, and you have no leverage. Other than my son plays quarterback. He's your quarterback. You want to keep him? He's $4 million. Well, he's not worth $4 million. We can spend half of that and go get somebody who can do the exact same thing, put up the exact same numbers out of the portal. I mean, it seems obvious saying it out loud. I don't understand how a parent or, a counsel can't grasp that. It's really frustrating to see. And really, I use the word victim. The kids become the victims. They do. Somebody said it in the comment section on our show. Nico's going to end up being a 3rd-round quarterback. He's not going to get developed. He's not going to get that national exposure that he would have gotten at Tennessee. If he came back to Tennessee probably would be a top 10 team going into 2025. That's taking my Alabama glasses off and being honest, but I don't know that they're going to be. You're trying to insert a quarterback this late into the game, and we've only got a few months before the season kicks off. It is a sad place to be in, because the NCAA, they just put out this ruling about injuries, and yes, something needed to be done about that. But really, their job was to protect the student athlete, and they have not done that in the NIL era. They have done nothing to do their actual job. If I don't do my job, I get fired. It's really disgusting, because these kids are being exploited. You can't blame Nico. I don't know. What is he, 20 years old? I was 20 years old. I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing. He loves and trusts his family. They tell him, hey, man, the best thing to do is to ask for $4 million. And if they don't give it to you, we bounce. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Absolutely. $4 million. That's a lot of money. I could buy this. They don't have your best interests at heart, man. And no one's doing anything to protect the student athlete. The NCAA is not doing anything to protect the student athlete, and they should be ashamed of themselves. They've had more than one opportunity to jump in here, set some guidelines, some kind of policy to protect kids from being exploited. Nico was being used as a chess piece by his dad, and they lost. Tennessee won. That's going to happen 9 out of 10 times. Look at Jaden Rashada. Look at these kids, man, at what they're doing. I don't know what Rashada's representation looked like, but didn't look good for him. So what is the NCAA going to do? What do you do? Obviously, you need to build a system around NIL that is more structured in what you can and can't do, where money comes from, what these deals look like, caps, things like that. But then you have to set up some kind of regulatory, amendment or something stating that these kids, especially these kids who are multi-million-dollar athletes in college, have some kind of representation that is authoritative. They know what they're doing. They're going to do what's best for that athlete. It's not just about the dollar signs. It's really sad. It's upsetting. I hate it for the kid. I really do, because he's painted as the villain to his fan base, but it's not his fault. He's just doing what his dad told him to do. And we've seen this play out in every aspect of industry, and we're just going to let it happen in college sports now, because we're all stupid and we don't learn from the past. So, NCAA, get off your ass and do something. You have to at this point. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? Am I right or wrong? What did I hit on? Some of our best comments will feature live Thursday night on our show at 8 p.m. Central Time, or right here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, Facebook, somewhere else, make sure you go over to YouTube, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. That helps us out. You know the drill. We're also trying to work to put together a care package for Bill this summer. So if you guys are interested in doing that, you can reach out to me on X at Alafrigan Bama, way offsides Cotton. Most of you know where to find me. we're growing this thing. We're starting to grow fast again. I guess YouTube's starting to like us again. I don't know what we did, but it helps if you guys like, share, subscribe. So leave us a comment. We want to hear what you think. I don't know everything. Sometimes I can be opinionated and I haven't thought what I'm going to say all the way through. Sometimes I get on here and just wing it. And that's what Cotton Time is going to be about. It's just going to be what's on my mind at the moment. I decided to make this video probably 20 minutes ago. So that'll do it. As always, you know the drill. Say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Get proper representation and roll Tide.